seconds why you can't trust your gut yet. And today's live stream, I want to break down a very powerful self awareness framework that I learned from Tai Lopez's 67 step program. And you might be wondering, why am I talking about this, right? It's not because I'm trying to promote Tai Lopez. I'm simply looking to understand different frameworks from people, right? Because as I learn to become a better version of myself, how do I reinforce that learning? And what better way to motivate myself to than to teach that same concept or framework to our kids? Because guess what? Our time is limited in this world, and you never know when your time is going to come. It could come all of a sudden. But I think we owe it to our kids, our family, to figure out what we need to pass on to them. So I want to talk about how this framework, right, applies to modern life, parenting, and just looking to achieve fulfillment, right? Because there are some hidden forces if you're not aware of it, that shapes you. And this is why sometimes following your gut can actually backfire. And I want to talk about why that is the case. And it's okay, right? It's like, I think you should follow your gut sometimes, right? When you walk into a very dark hallway and you've seen it before from a scary movie, well, probably don't go there, right? Or you go into the swamp waters and you think there might be alligators there or crocodiles. Maybe you shouldn't go in there, right? If your gut tells you something might be wrong. But we're going to talk about how this all comes together, right? Because I've seen firsthand how modern distractions and conveniences trap us, but it doesn't have to say that way, right? So let's kind of keep going. So I want to talk about why your instincts might be lying to you sometimes. Because, I mean, what if I told you the voice in your head, right? That gut feeling that you had isn't actually yours, right? See, inside every one of us is the whisper of 10,000 generations. It's quiet, but it's a powerful voice shaped by the survival instincts of your ancestors. And while it helped them dodge, right, saber-toothed tigers and survive food shortages, today that might be the reason why it's sabotaging your success. So, you probably heard of the advice, trust your gut, right? Follow your instincts. It sounds simple, but here's the twist. Those instincts were built for a world that no longer exists, right? If you inherited a survival manual, but it was written 10,000 years ago, right? I mean, that's what your gut feelings are. I bet you probably wouldn't follow them to the T anymore, right? I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of like trying to figure out, maybe you're still using the dial-up modem, and sometimes some people might not even know what a dial-up modem is. In the age where everything's on cable or fiber optic internet, right? Technically, it works, but it's outdated. And your brain is wired to crave sugar, right? Sleep with the campfire nearby you, or you want to stick with a tribe of 150 people. That made sense back then when survival depended on it. But today, in our world of Uber Eats and Instagram, I mean, those same instincts can actually sabotage us. So let's talk about how this mismatch shows up. Okay. Now, if you think about why it's so hard to resist junk food, it's not because you're weak, it's because your ancestors were too strong at surviving, right? 10,000 years ago, your great, keep going, right? Grandmother saw honey and said, wow, eat all of it, because that instinct kept her or them alive, right? Calories were hard to come by. Sugar meant survival. But if you fast forward to today and you walk into a gas station with junk food, chocolate bars, that ancient voice is still going to whisper, stock up, eat now. You never know when food will run out, right? It's almost as if your brain is still driving with a GPS that's made for the cave ages, right? For cavemen. But you're really trying to navigate a modern city, right? That doesn't make sense. It's going to tell you to eat even when you're full. This makes sense. It's going to tell you to stay awake because there's light, even though it's just your phone. That's evolutionary mismatch in action, right? And that's how you get obesity, right? Insomnia, energy crashes. So outsmart your biology, right? Remove that temptation from your environment, sleep when it's dark, and make your home your ally, not your enemy. And so let's talk about why we struggle with money. Let's talk about wealth, right? Your gut instinct sometimes wants to spend now because 10,000 years ago, that's how humans survived, right? If you found extra food, you didn't stash it for retirement, you ate it or you shared it right away. That same wiring shows up when you blow your paycheck. There's so many, this huge percentage of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, right? That's why now saving is key to survival. It allows you to take different risks when you have a reserve, right? Sometimes you have to go against your financial instincts, right? Sometimes you might have to automate the savings. This is a generally good habit, right? And you can build the muscle of saying no to impulsive buying. Because when you have Amazon, one click buying, right? And ads are chasing you 24/7, willpower isn't enough. You have to have structure. So let's talk about love and Dunbar's 150 rule, right? And this is why you might feel lonely in a crowded world, right? I mean, you might have 2,000 Instagram followers, but no one, but what if you don't have anyone to call on, like on a bad day, right? It's not your fault. It's biology, right? Our brain evolved best, according to this rule, that you should have 150 close relationships. That's Dunbar's number. Anything more, your brain gets overwhelmed. Anything less, it feels empty. So think of your brain like a phone with limited storage. It runs best when you don't overload it with too many apps or photos or people. You ever notice your phone gets a little slower when it gets too full? Same concept. And again, I'm looking for better analogies to explain this stuff so that even a fifth grader can understand. So let me know what other analogies you come up with to explain these things. Okay. So, I mean, that's the twist, right? In today's modern world, we've replaced real community with digital noise, likes instead of loyalty, comments instead of commitment. Doesn't make any sense anymore. So, here's a solution. Don't just make new friends. Try rekindling some old ones. They might be the relationships that are rooted in trust, history, adversity. Now, I'm not saying hang out with people that don't serve you anymore, right? But I truly believe that you can learn something from everyone, even if it's something about what not to do, right? You have to learn how to go deeper with your relationships. Okay. Now, let's talk about mastering the mismatch, right? How do you hack your instincts for a better life? Now, now you know that your instincts aren't broken, right? They're just outdated a little bit. And you let them run wild, they're going to lead you to a ditch. But you learn to master them, you gain an edge that probably 99% of people never tap into, right? So, if you want to start training, right? Let's think about health. Don't don't keep junk food in the house. You can't crave what you can't see. When it comes to wealth, read a book every day. Automate your savings. Hide money from your caveman brain so you don't buy right away. You don't have impulsive buying. For your love and your relationships, tell your significant other one thing you appreciate about them or you love about them every day. Why not? You could just go out today, drive a car, and that could be the end of your life. It can happen. So why on earth would you not tell them you love them every day? For some of your old friends, just text them out of the blue. Just say, hey, just thinking about you. was just thinking about you. Are you up to anything exciting recently? That's all you have to do. That's it. It's nothing more complicated than that. Reach out and talk with the intent to connect with them. Because I think we can all use richer relationships. That leads to the last point here about fulfillment, right? When you realize that you are part of something bigger than yourself, when you create a movement, when you learn to find that tribe, that community, that's when the magic happens. That's when everything gets really, really cool. So I hope this was helpful today, everybody, right? Just remember when things get hard, tell yourself you're not broken. You're just running a you're just running 10,000-year-old software. It's time for you to start updating your operating system. Okay. Now, let's talk about the one question that Tai Lopez brought up, right? That might change how you live. And sometimes it's not applicable to you. That's okay. But if you ask this question, where in my life am I being ruled by instincts that no longer serve me? Right? Am I eating like a caveman, like I'm gonna starve tomorrow? Like I can't find food when there's Costco and grocery stores everywhere, right? Am I spending like there's no tomorrow? Am I following this YOLO mindset when instead of saving some money so I can have something to invest? Again, it's not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments on this call. I'm just sharing some principles that I want to share with my kids so that they are equipped with a different mindset when they grow up. Because that's way more important than leaving any amount of wealth for them. We gotta leave them the lessons, the relationships, the skills that we've learned so that they can have a little bit of head start, right? Are you always chasing new friends instead of cherishing some of the amazing friends that you have already? Right? I mean, there are friends that you respect for who they are as a person, right? You might look up to a certain person for how they approach life, how they treat others, but you might not look to that person if you're trying to learn how to start a business, right? And that's okay. You can learn to admire people for different qualities and different traits that they have and tell them about their gift. Sometimes your sometimes your gift might be your ability to recognize another person's gift. And it's really cool when you can recognize their gift because it's really cool. So, if you want to live the good life, whatever that is to you, it's not just about hustling and going harder. It's about rewiring what's in here. When you learn which instincts to keep, which to tame, and which to retrain, that's when the magic happens, right? So, I challenge you if you journal, I mean, write down what's one outdated instinct that's holding you back. And in the past, for me, I always thought I had to know everything before I get started. And I quickly realized I did not. I just simply had to move towards a mission to help someone that was just like me 6 months ago. And I hope this is helpful to you. So don't focus on yourself. Just go help one person today. It might be anybody. It might just be you holding a door for someone and just greeting them with a smile and saying, "Have a great day." You would be surprised what an amazing impact that can have on someone. Because you're not doing this just for you. You're being the example for your family, your kids, your community. I hope this was helpful, everybody. I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. Today, I got to see my dad, and I am so appreciative of every extra minute I get with my family. And I hope you can appreciate those precious minutes because it's not guaranteed. You hear about health problems from your family, and it humbles you really quickly. about how fleeting life can be. So seize the day tomorrow. Go help one person and be the best person you can for your family. Hey, have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow for day 594. Have a good one, everybody.